Seems to me like the Pittsburgh Penguins are kind of in the win now mode, and it's not really something that has changed since Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, and Evgeny Malkin first stepped foot in Pittsburgh. And regardless of the management and coaching changes throughout the years, the constant has been a winning attitude and a focused mindset with eyes on championships. With three Stanley Cups already on the mantle for the Penguins core, the fourth one could be very well on its way in the next spring. Anytime I chat with industry colleagues about the Penguins, there's a theme. Anytime you have that core, you have a chance to win, is something I hear all the time. And rightfully so, considering Crosby is still amongst the game's elite, and Malkin, when healthy, is arguably the best second line center in the NHL. Adding Chris Letang on the back end, and Legends Row has produced a tremendous amount throughout their tenure together. It feels like they aren't slowing down anytime soon, and considering the team's bad luck when it comes to injuries, a healthy season could mean big things in Pittsburgh, like planning a parade and debating over who's the best Penguin of all time after number 87 hoists another Stanley Cup. The Penguins are for real, and 2022-23 is going to be fun to watch. The way last season had ended seemed poetic for all wrong reasons. Injuries have taken a toll on the Penguins of late, and it was never more evident in the past 3 years, as it was against the New York Rangers in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, playing a third-string netminder after two goalies go down. Tristan Jarry has the game to complement a team to a Stanley Cup win, and if he becomes stronger than ever, a career season is within reach. Jarry is coming off a season where he improved his goals against average from 2.75 in 2020-21 down to 2.42 last season, and the postseason success hasn't come as of yet, but if the Penguins can avoid any adversity heading into the Stanley Cup playoffs and enter the NHL season with a clean bill of health, Jarry appears poised to elevate his game. It's worth mentioning he's also in a contract next season, which adds some extra motivation to perform. It's the biggest season of his career, and the Penguins are expecting his best, as always. And a new season also allows head coach Mike Sullivan to reevaluate his lineup. The Penguins were one of the many teams to make multiple moves this summer, and it's an interesting mix of talent added to the fold. Veteran defenseman Jeff Petrie could have a huge impact this season. His all-around game is underrated, and he's more complete than players usually give him credit for. He found his game at times last season with the Montreal Canadiens, a team going through a number of hurdles last season, and general manager Ron Hextall will be watching closely early on to see what elements of Petrie's game stand out the most in Pittsburgh. And he recorded 140 hits and blocked 117 shots for the Canadiens a season ago. All of these numbers are perfect. And another guy who I want to talk about who also put up pretty good numbers is Rickard Rakell. He is also a Penguins X Factor. A full season with the Penguins will do wonders for him and his game. And look out for Rakell to improve on his numbers from last season. His 13 points in 19 games were nothing to be upset about, but this season I'm expecting the versatile winger to put up at least 70 plus points. It'll be interesting to see if the trio of Crosby, Brian Russ, and Jake Gensel stay together, and if Rakell plays into any of that decision-making. And as it stands right now, he's likely headed for Malkin's wing once again, and more ice time together should create more chemistry. It's going to be interesting to watch how the left wing plays out. Newcomer Ty Smith is also a player who comes into the Penguins lineup, looking for some more consistency in his game. The mobile defenseman will likely start in the bottom pair for Sullivan, but is someone with potential to move up in the lineup. The same can be said for Danton Heinen, who is likely heading into training camp with a mindset that he'd like to be the left winger alongside Malkin and Rakell. Jason Zucker will have something to say about it, but Heinen likely does not have much extra motivation after the way his contract situation was handled a couple of months ago, but we still need to talk about the core. We always need to talk about the core when we're talking about the Penguins, and the 35-year-old Sidney Crosby is coming off one of the most productive seasons of his career, minus any postseason success. That's last season's issues, though, and the Penguins captain appears poised to once again lead his team to contention. Well over a point per game in the regular season and Stanley Cup playoffs, Crosby appears poised for another 100-point season. Fully healthy and dialed in after watching his best buddy Nathan MacKinnon hoist the Stanley Cup, 87 will be hard to stop next season. One other storyline who I'd mentioned for the Penguins to keep a very close eye on will be the third line and what kind of role they play in the team's success this season. Jeff Carter, Brock McGinn, and Kasperi Kapanen appear to be the favorites for the gig, and can they help the team keep the puck out of their own net is my biggest question. It's a very interesting trio with an assortment of tools. We'll see how much they can produce on both sides of the puck this season. Nevertheless, the 2022-23 season is going to be fun to watch in Pittsburgh. The Penguins are coming in strong, holding Stanley Cup aspirations and likely their breath, as a healthy season and untimely injuries are hopefully a thing of the past. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.